and I'm like, yoo-hoo. And I opened the door and it said, beware of the cats. I'm like, oh, okay, no big deal. So I'm looking for the cats. I'm not a big cat fan anyways, but anyway. Can't find the cats. They're not running around. They're not trying to run outside. We go downstairs and there's 2 huge cages.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is The Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to The Closing Table. I appreciate you for pulling up a chair. My name is Kevin C. McIntosh. I am the host of The Closing Table. And joining us on this episode, we want to say thank you for coming and welcome Sheri Gallimore to The Closing Table. How are you, Sheri?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. It's the summertime. We're trying to enjoy this weather despite all the smoke outside. That's a whole nother story. Right. But nonetheless, we are here to talk business. Before we even get too serious, I like to start things off casually with an icebreaker for you. It's called word association. About 5 words, all related to real estate. But I just want you to give me your first reaction to whatever word I say, whether that's a corresponding word, a sentence, definition, story, whatever. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's roll with it. First one, real estate developer.
In our area, I think of Brent Forsberg.
Okay. Next one, depreciation.
Cars.
Mortgage.
Home ownership.
Home equity line of credit, also known as HELOC.
Definitely should have one in place.
Last one, seller financing.
Haven't seen it in a while.
I bet, right? That says a lot about the market.
But it's probably coming back.
Oh, I love that perspective. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Sheri, thank you for starting off with our quick little casual icebreaker. Let's talk about you right now. In 60 seconds or less, Sheri, can you tell us who you are outside of real estate?
I'm a traveler. I'm an adventure seeker. I have adrenaline rushes. I'm a mom. I'm a good friend. And that's about it.
Okay, good. Simple, but still shows that you are a human outside of your profession. So we like to separate the two. And while we are talking about your profession, let's talk about where you are doing your profession. Can you describe your current market for us geographically as far as the location, and then get into some of the economics as far as what's going on with the real estate there?
I'm in Greater Lansing, Michigan. So the capital city, home of Michigan State University. Go Green. We've got a lot of industry. We've got General Motors. We've got everything that goes along with that. We've got a law school. We've got 2 major insurance companies here, Jackson National and Auto Owners. And our climate is just like probably the rest of the United States. That, from what I hear, is not enough inventory for the demand.
Yeah, you know what? First of all, I like how you just described your market. I don't get that too much. Like, it's really, I want people to like really give like a good like look to it, like describe it so that someone can actually get a look or a feel for what it is. You describing like some of the local schools and things that's going on, the job market. I like that. That's the type of response I like. So I just wanted to put that out there first and foremost. Since we are talking, go ahead, please.
That's all I have.
Okay. But since we are talking about jobs, let's talk about your previous occupations. Prior to you becoming a real estate agent, can you talk about how your previous occupations may have helped you get an advantage as a realtor?
Well, I've done this 33 years, so I didn't have a lot of things before that because, I'm only 39.
Oh, okay. Beautiful.
So in high school, I worked at a grocery store, side jobs, before I could work, mowing lawns, shoveling driveways, cleaning houses, babysitting, whatever. My first job was on roller skates at a root beer place. And then I worked in restaurants. I moved away to Hawaii and I worked for a purchasing agent while I went to school. Then when I came back here, my degree was in interior design. So I worked for a design firm downtown Lansing for a few years. And then I was licensed in 1990. So I think I never considered myself a salesperson, and I still don't, even though
Right.
that's what I do. But I just feel like I am more of a give you the information, communication, mediator kind of person versus if you don't want to buy a house, I'm not going to sell you one, right? So I've never considered myself really a salesperson, even though that's my title. So
Okay. 30 plus years. Congratulations, first and foremost, because not all realtors make it past 5 years.
right.
So congratulations on your longevity. We're going to speak to that, but I want you to talk about how you've seen your market change over those 30 years that you've been licensed. And I want you to talk from two different perspectives, if you can. One, from your professional perspective, and then two, if you can, speak from a client's perspective, how the market has changed over these 30 years.
Oh my gosh, we just had this conversation at lunch a couple of weeks ago at convention. So the market now is user-friendly. It's accessible.
Okay.
So our jobs have changed quite a bit. Our jobs are not any easier, but we can do more in less time because of technology. For example, I used to have to go to a specific office, pick up a key, show one particular house, drive that key back to that office. And if I wanted to show 4 houses in a day, I might have to go to 4 real estate offices all over Greater Lansing, show the houses, and return the keys the same day. Whereas now I can show as many houses as I want and the keys in an electronic key box at the house.
Okay.
Right? Another thing that was really funny that we used to have a Rolodex. And so we'd have 3x5 cards and we'd have listings on them. And the only ones who knew that had them were the people in your office. And then once a month, we'd get this little book called the Bressers. And then you could see what other people had on the market, right?
Yeah. That's so funny. I remember Rolodexes. I used to want one so bad when I was little. I was like, you just seem so important if you have that, but so obsolete now.
Right. So it is really obsolete now. So I know that I can get a lot more business done because somebody said, well, you did this many transactions. I said, well, back in, 1998, I did this many transactions. Right. And that was a lot of work back then. And now it seems like, if I do 65 transactions, it seems like a lot still, but I feel like it's a lot easier. Right. There's more information.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the two big things. I love lock boxes and I love the computer internet so that I know instantaneously what's on the market in the whole world versus on my desk.
Right. I love that you spoke to some of the things that you like that has changed. Are there things that you don't like that have changed over the last 30 years?
I would say I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think everything is for the better. And I mean, you have to embrace that mindset anyways, right?
I love that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Whether you like it or not, you embrace it or you're gone.
That's real. I love that right there. And you're 30 years. I know you have a great story for us to talk about one of the weirdest properties you've ever been to. Most craziest thing you've seen at a property. Please share.
Oh, the craziest thing. Well, back, I don't know, I can't even tell you how long ago it was, but it was pre-2000. But again, you have to knock at the door. You have an appointment that you're coming. It's way before Ring cameras, way before all that, where you have to say, hey, hi, they know you're coming, right? Everything's dinging. Right. And I was there a few minutes early. And this is when people rode with you because people don't ride with you in your car anymore. Right?
Really?
Just drive or meet you there. You hardly ever put somebody in your car anymore. You still pick them up and drive them everywhere, then take them back home.
Really?
Yeah, that happens no more. So anyways, I knocked on a door. Nobody answered. And I'm like, yoo-hoo. And I opened the door and it said, beware of the cats. I'm like, oh, okay, no big deal. So I'm looking for the cats. I'm not a big cat fan anyways. But anyway, can't find the cats. They're not running around. They're not trying to run outside. We go downstairs and there's 2 huge cages. And these people had 2 exotic cats. It's like a black panther and some other leopard type
That's
of
what I
cat.
was thinking of, a leopard too. Why? That is so crazy. So
And
you walk into a house thinking we're going to see domestic cats, and we're talking about lions and tigers and panthers.
right. And I'm thinking, I don't think this is probably legal, first of all. And maybe you should be a little bit more specific about what type of cats.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't even call them cats at that point. Say I have a panther, I have a leopard. Please, I don't want to just
Right.
walk. So you just saw the cages. You didn't see the actual animals.
Oh, they're in there.
Oh my God!
They're in there.
Wow.
So that was cool. But yeah, so I
Oh
mean,
man,
but we
Sheri.
see, I mean, you just don't know, right? You just don't know. Everybody lives different, but
Mm.
I was taken back by that one. And then you're normal, people think, people think you're coming, or you think that people know that you're coming, and then there's always that awkward, hey, they're still in bed, or hey, they're in the shower, hey, they're still here, or they're not expecting you, you're not expecting them, so you're like, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Oh man.
yeah,
I think about times where a realtor may walk into a home and like they walk in on seeing some things that they don't really aren't supposed. You see what I'm saying there? Okay,
yeah,
got you.
yeah, some things you can't unsee.
Yeah, I bet. So you gotta finish the story. What happened with the house with the Panthers and the line? Did that get sold, or what happened? Did you go through with that?
Yeah, I didn't write an offer on it, but it did sell. And I remember exactly where it is. That I mean, I drive past that house when I show houses, and it's one of those things that will never come out of my head, right? I'm like, I sold
Yeah.
that house, and that's where these exact, and I tell the story all the time. People are
Mm-hmm.
like, that's crazy,
That is
but
so crazy.
yeah. But mostly, I mean, it's so interesting, right? There's no two houses alike, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't discriminate between a $19,000 house or $1 million house, because I feel like everybody needs representation.
Yep.
But somebody says, "Well, what about your job?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, one time, you bring fleas home, or you bring fleas to your car, or
Mm.
you get that, or you want to leave a place and you want to burn your shoes, or
Oh my
you get
God.
or you get the other hand where you go into this fabulous house and go, I
I
really
don't
need
want
to
to go
update.
home. Right.
I want I want to shower, and how can they have this many shoes and displayed like jewelry? Like, I need to go home and straighten out my closet.
I love the duality, the two things. Like you see a homie like, I gotta get out of here. I don't even want to be in this house. And then you see the other one like, I want to live here. I don't even want to go
Right,
to my home. Like my
right.
house is a closet here. Like it's crazy. But it was something that you said that I want to mention. I have to go back and think about it. But
Fine.
why? Oh, the homes. You just be surprised about what's going on in people's homes sometimes. Everyone has their own separate life, private
Right.
life inside their home. And until you enter someone's home, you just never know what's going on in there. I
Nope.
mean, wow.
And
Wow.
most of
Okay.
the time, I don't want to know.
I know, right? Yeah, you can have that privacy. That's on you. A unique situation that you've been in when you were going through a contract or going through a transaction, I should say, and for some reason, the transaction did not go through. It did not go through after maybe it was even under contract. Have you had that type of experience?
I've had several, and all different kinds. I had one recently where my people flew in specifically from Texas to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
We did pre-inspection, got our offer accepted, gave the seller 60 days after closing for occupancy, and then she just had a crisis and just would not sell the house or close on the house.
Wow.
She
Oh
just
my
she just
God.
got overwhelmed. She had stress in her life, and she's going through, some things, and she just like, hey, I'm out. And my people are like, well, what? And I said, well, you could sue for performance, but that's negative energy, and no judge is going to make this woman sell her house to you. So let's just move.
Mm.
And
Oh,
then, yeah, and that's really devastating. But I think we see a lot more of that right now, because
really?
people, well, because people don't have anywhere to go, right? So they put their house on the market thinking, okay, I'm going to get the most money I've ever been able to get for my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they go shopping, and then they, get beat out 3, 4, 5, 6 times on an offer. And then they
Yeah.
go, oh my gosh, I might be homeless.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy. Other times, most of the time they close. I mean, I had somebody, actually, couldn't go through with a contract once because, they, didn't make it to the closing table, just, accident on the way.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're waiting on the seller, and waiting on the seller, and he had passed away in a car accident on the way to closing.
Oh, oh my God! I was not. Wow, that took a turn, Sheri. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, wow.
And then back, I don't know how long ago it was, but do you remember when UPS went on strike?
Yes, I do, actually.
So was that 10 years ago? I think everything's 5 years ago, and it's usually 10. So nobody could close because let's just say you're the UPS driver and you're buying your first house. And those people are buying a house, and those people are buying a house, and those people are buying a house. So there's a domino, right? The first one has to fall before the next one's fall. Well, when UPS went on strike, nobody had any idea. But if you go on strike and you don't have a paycheck, you can't get a loan. So the first person couldn't close, and then that affected everybody on the way. So everybody was kind of on hold until UPS went back to work. So that affected 5 families, 5 lenders, probably 10 realtors. I mean, who knows who else? Movers, bankers. Yeah. People don't think about those things, but they happen.
Man. You really don't. Yeah, I never thought about that type of stuff. And I know it happens, but like that domino effect thing is crazy. The situation with the seller not making it to the closing. I mean, wow, you really deal with a lot of situations, Sheri. Like this is scary, Sheri. That is crazy.
Scary.
I get it,
funny.
but
it makes your job interesting, right? Because you never have the same house. And if you do, you don't have the same seller, the same buyer, the same time frame, the same lender. I mean, there's so many variables that you want to be in control of, that you think you're in control of, but you have no control over. Especially other people, right?
You have to, you got to be a different type of person to deal with that, because some people, the fact that you find enjoyment in the uncertainty of your job it just makes you different as a realtor, right? Because a lot of people like to have that security of knowing what their job is going to be like throughout the day. People don't like to have unexpected, situations that they don't necessarily have control over, and they have to figure out random solutions. Some people like, let me go in, put my earbuds in, do this manufacturing same thing over and over. But dealing with those different types of situations, it could probably drive the average person mad. Me just listening to it is like, I don't know how I would deal with that.
Well, we always say you got to be a little bit crazy to do this job. You got to be a little bit crazy. You do.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. You spoke on a few different situations where the closing didn't happen due to other agents' clients. Do you have any situations where the closing had to get pushed back because of some of your actions or your clients' actions?
I'm sure there has been. Nothing that's out of the ordinary. Sometimes it's financing takes a little bit longer because somebody doesn't get their paperwork or the appraisal, or repairs have to be done. I've had people that don't want to sell their houses at the very end. Like I had one just recently where she's a school teacher, she's a mom, they were closing on their house, same situation, and they hadn't found one yet. So 3 days before closing, she calls in tears, boo-hooing, Sheri, we don't want to close on our house. Can you call the buyers and see if they'll let us keep it? And I'm like, that's probably not likely, but I'll ask. And then you have to talk. You got to be a social worker too, right? You got to kind of talk them off the ledge.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. You've got 60 more days here. There's going to be something with your name on it over here. We're going to keep looking. And of course, you call the buyer and they're like, no, I beat 10 other people out. We're moving. And, this is locked down, right? We've given our notice where we live and blah, blah, blah. And then a lot of stress. Year end at school. She's a school teacher. New baby at home. Closing with no place to go. So it was just an emotional time. And then, a week later, we find the perfect house. She's in love. She closes it last week and she's so happy, right? But things like that happen a lot, I think.
Ooh, wow. I mean, the situation is, I don't want to sell my house anymore. Can you see if they want to still, can you see if they just don't want to buy it? Like, whoa, I changed my entire life for this.
Well, you have to be empathetic because, that's her real stress, right?
I get
That's
it.
their real stress.
Yes.
And homes, for the most part, emotional. For investors, and some people don't get attached to their homes, but most people do get attached emotionally. So
that just goes to show you are a better person than me, Sheri.
No, that's not true.
Because I would be like, what do you mean? Like, I don't think I would have the patience for that. That's why I do what I do, I guess. And you are built for what you do. Because I don't know if I would have the patience for that, for people to just pull back on their offer like that.
I don't know that I have patience. I always say I bite my tongue a lot, and if I have to bite it much more, it might fall off.
Good one.
But I also was just doing a listing appointment before I got on the phone with you, and I have clients, and they're like, they took care of their mom, right? Nursed her, bathed her, healthcare people. I could not do that to save my life, right?
I get it. Yeah.
There's people for each job, right? My brother can turn wrenches. Man, I can't turn a screwdriver.
That is a fact. My girlfriend is a nurse, emergency room nurse at that. And she can do it. She has so many stories. Some days she knows, don't even tell me what happened, because some of the stories she tells me, I have to go to church after that. It's crazy. But yeah, different strokes for different folks. Have you had a situation where you had to convince one of your clients that they had to make some changes to their curb appeal in order to sell their home? And what was that? Can you share the story?
Well, I mean, I always try to take it. Sorry, they're painting our building out here right now. So if you might see a painter pop in or fall through my window, I'm not sure. Anyways, with curb appeal, you have to be really sensitive, right? Because your clean and my clean are different, right? So if my son said I cleaned the room and I go in there and go, no, that's not clean. It's no different than my client. So I try to do everything third party. I'll give them stuff in writing that I didn't write, right? How to prepare your home. And if they don't take clue to that, I go, you know what? This is what helps other people that I've seen them do, right? Because you can't just go, you do this, that's not this, right? Because it's them. They'll take it personally. And you got to walk that fine line because you want to have their business. So, but you also want to sell their house. And you have to tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. But you have to do it delicately. So I always try to do everything third party. Like, it's not me saying this. This is the market telling you. These are buyers telling you this. It's not me, right? I'm the good girl. I'm on your side.
Right. I love that too, because that is a very honest statement. Like, my version of clean would be different from your version of clean. I'm pretty sure everybody experienced that as a child when you thought you were washing the dishes, only for your parents to come home and say, you have to wash the dishes. How did I half wash the dishes if I washed everything except for this one plate? Like, that's like 95% at least. Don't say half, but but that speaks to that though.
My sister-in-law said, I don't have to wash the dishes. You're the dryer. The dryer's got all responsibility. You are the last person in this change. Wash, rinse, dry. It's on you.
Have you now this is what I really want to hear from you. Have you ever had a time where you had to talk a seller out of a for sale by owner and to let you list their home?
Oh my gosh, yes. My whole first probably 7 to 10 years in real estate, that's all I did was knock on for sale by owner doors.
Now how does that go? How do you have more recent a story?
I don't have any more recent stories because
is there a reason why? Did something happen?
No, I just work on referrals now because when you're new, I mean, you cold call, right? And you prospect. And so what I was taught was you have to cold call, you have to send notes, you have to get face to face, you have to leave your card everywhere, and you have to knock on doors of for sale by owners, right? It's not the call situation where you can call them, right? You didn't have that information. You saw a sign, you stopped. Hey, hi, you know, here's Sheri Gallimore with Century 21 or whatever. And then, first of all, they don't want to use you, right? That's why they have a sign out front. So basically it says, do not enter, I don't want you. So then you have to come over that objection.
Essentially, yeah.
And then you come back again going, well, I can offer you this for free. Let me tell you what your house is worth, right? They already think it's worth something, but it's probably not because they're not the expert. And then you go back again, you offer them something else, right? Until at some point they give in because they've tried all of their marketing skills. And the end of the day, I mean, we still wouldn't be around if we weren't needed, right? It's a profession. We've been around hundreds of
Yeah.
years. We're not going anywhere. You need us. But it's really hard. Objections are hard. And those people really have a bad taste in their mouth and they want to save money. And essentially they don't, right? They don't save money because they're only marketing to a fewer amount of people. Right. And then you get into the contracts. And then what happens is buyers really don't want to go to a seller's house when they're home. Right. It's awkward. It's awkward feeling. You don't feel at home. You don't feel comfortable. And then you have to negotiate with them. And then you take out that third, you put that third party in there, right? Then it takes out the emotion, the stress, the animosity, or anything that goes on, right? We're supposed to make it easy and smooth because there's a lot of personalities in a transaction, right? I know that for a fact because I sold my house as a realtor. And I'm an awesome realtor in my humble opinion. But I'm a terrible seller. Terrible. Because I put my house on the market, sold it, they came through, did the inspections, and then they, have this laundry list of things they wanted to do. And I said no. And then a week later, they came back and they said, well, we'll take the house as is. I said, well, now it's off the market. So, but I think had I had a realtor talk me off the ledge, they might have had a new house and I might be living somewhere else right now. Right? So I think sometimes you just need that voice, or just like when you go shopping, hey, yeah, go ahead and buy it. Because sometimes you need that little nudge, right? Hey, it's cool, buy that. They look good or whatever. Or you might go, right? So I think it's good to have that intermediary for the buyer and the seller, to be honest.
Right. I get it. Okay. That is interesting of you going the for sale by owners, and I don't think about that as a tactic being a real estate agent, but it seems smart. If you drive by someone's home where they're trying to sell their property on their own, it will make sense to try to walk up there and at least offer your services to them.
Right.
So
and again, now we don't go to the knocking on the doors, right? Because now for sale by owners on the website, and you just call them. They put it out there. Before they didn't, right? You just had a little number on the phone, on the sign, or back then. But now it's a for sale by owner site. You can call them all you want. They put their number out there. They put the information out there. So again, it makes prospecting easier when they put it out there for you're not searching it, right? But anytime business gets slow or somebody's new, I always tell them go back to the basics. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, cold call, get a neighborhood, knock on doors, get your face out in front of people. You always have to go back to the basics. I don't care how technology goes and goes and goes. You have to get in front of people's face. In their face.
That's
not
well
just on
said.
TikTok,
I couldn't say it
not
better.
on Zoom and not on Instagram. And you got to have personal interaction with people for them to know and like and trust you, I think.
Oh no, I agree. I know. And yeah, for sure. If you really want to be successful and you care about your profession at least. And you care about the people too, more than anything. So you are a homeowner currently. I want to speak on that. Let's say you don't own a home in 2023, but you're aspiring to own a home. Knowing what you know now and the resources that are available, what approach would you take to owning your first home in 2023?
I think it's no different. I mean, I think you have to go out and get a lender and see what you qualify for, where your credit score is, where your income to debt ratio is, and then they can pre-approve you for a loan. It's good for 6 months. It doesn't cost you anything. And then obviously interview your buyer's agent. Make sure that your buyer agent's working for you and that they have the knowledge and skills to do it in the best light. In a competitive market, you need an agent that people like and know that's going to get to the table. They also want a local lender that they trust, that have closed deals for them, that, they know that if a pre-approval is written, that they're really pre-approved. It's not just a letter saying, hey, maybe they can buy a house. It's fully underwritten, and they're almost like a cash buyer at that point. But, and then of course, those are the only two things you really need to do.
Interesting. New things to learn right here on the closing table. And we appreciate you, Sheri, for pulling up a chair and sharing your knowledge with us here today. At this point, if you have any last words and or want to tell the people how to reach out to you, please do so now.
You can reach me at Remax Real Estate Professionals in Greater Lansing. at 517-712-5018 or at my website, SheriGallimore.com.
Yes, perfectly said. Thank you so much, Sheri. We appreciate you again for being here and sharing that knowledge with us. For our YouTube audience watching right now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, please hit that like button for us, please, and thank you. Make sure you also share the content and subscribe to our channel. And if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. And I always leave our audience with a question before we leave, Sheri. So this one is for the audience. What is the most surprising thing your realtor helped you do to help sell your home? What effort did they put in? Don't tell us now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.